we go, fans. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Happy Sunday, Cleveland. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. We came over yourself.
I'm well, sir. I'm well, sir. Right in the middle of round one in NCAAs. I know we got some good games coming on today, specifically the women's basketball. Like I want to really see this South Carolina versus North Carolina game that's coming on here. I guess it's about to tip off here pretty soon. That should be a good one. How's your brackets looking?
Not bad. A few upsets here or there. That's to be expected. I usually like to double check it when we come to the round of 16 and kind of see who's still standing and see what's working out for me. I've been mostly focusing on the sports book aspect of it, so and that's been going very, very well. Thanks for asking.
Sports book aspect, huh? Okay,
yeah.
you one of the gamblers. Okay, so we got that sets the stage, man. Cleveland, as you know, thank you, fans, for joining us once again for the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is our Sunday special. We usually have a full show on Wednesday where we play our numbers game. We give you this week in history segment, and then we end the show with the quote. Today is we're just going to jump right into some topics today. So thank you, guys. Give yourself a round of applause for joining us. Today we're just going to jump right into our topics. And Cleveland, you talk about gambling, you talk about the sports aspect. I mean, there's no way we can ignore. There's no way we can ignore the hottest topic in all of sports right now, which is the Shohei Ohtani situation with was it his interpreter making the bets? Was Shohei making the bets? The money came out of Shohei's account. So I know he got $750 million. Can you miss $4 million? Can you just miss it or not account for it or not? When you get that much money, and he had money before, and he got his endorsements and everything else. I mean, can you just not identify $4.5 million is gone from your bank account? Can that be easily done? I don't know. I don't got that kind of money. If $4.50 is gone from my account, that's noticeable. That's noticeable on my account. But for Shohei Ohtani, as you guys all heard, this is anything you guys haven't heard. I don't know much more than his interpreter. First, it was said that an interpreter has a gambling debt, and Shohei made the payment for him. Right? Made the payment to a bookmaker who was under investigation. Cleveland. That's how the ball got rolling. The bookmaker was under investigation. He gets his $4.5 million wire transfer into his account, and then they double back and say, "Where's this come from?" From the Dodgers? The Shohei Ohtani? What? This can't be. So then the interpreter, and I always wonder, man, about these interpreters, Cleveland. Whether it's the Spanish interpreters in boxing, whether it's the Japanese interpreter, are they telling us the truth? Are they telling the player what the actual question he asked? Are they telling us what he's actually saying? I always wonder. And so, was the interpreter playing fast and loose with the lips when the question was asked? Shohei Ohtani, it looks like he paid $4.5 million to a bookmaker. And did the interpreter go rogue and say, well, I have a gambling problem, and he made a payment for me, which he very well should have done. That was a good look on his interpreter. That's exactly what Mike Vick's boys should have did. That's exactly, without question, when they rolled up on Mike Vick and they start questioning everything, one of the guys should have said, yo, that's me, that's my dogs. Hey, I'll take the fall. Am I wrong? Do you agree with me on that? That's exactly what his boys should have did. So his interpreter stepped up and said, I have the gambling problem. It's me. I'll fall on the sword. However, being that the dude was under investigation, they go, and I don't know how this worked. Did they go to Shohei? Did they go to another interpreter and ask Shohei, okay, your guy says he paid $4.5 million. Did you approve that payment? How did that work? If the one interpreter says I have the gambling problem and it's me, did they then go back to somebody else to say, Shohei, what's the real deal? Did you know about this payment? Shohei said, no, I don't know about the payment. I'm not aware. So then it becomes, did he steal money out of Shohei's account? Did he approve the payment without Shohei's knowledge? So Cleveland, this is a tricky situation right here. Did you approve the payment, Shohei? Or was that your bet, Shohei? Now that question's got to be answered here in the next couple of days. Cleveland, and this is a big problem that your sport. You the Major League Baseball guy. I already said, you know how I feel about Shohei. Shohei is the best player who's ever walked the Major League Baseball diamond ever in all of the world. Anybody that kept stats, he's doing what Babe Ruth was doing. At least he's not pitching this year. He's far better than your guy, Barry Flaxseed Oil Bonds. Far better than that dude. You want to give me Alex Rodriguez? He's better than him. You want to give me Derek Jeter? He's better than him. This is they say the 5-tool player in baseball. This is a 7-tool player in baseball. Cleveland, you can't convince me. We've had this argument. There's nobody better than Shohei Ohtani. So now Major League Baseball has a problem. Major League Baseball has a huge problem. Are they going to adjust their rigid rules to keep Shohei on the field? Or are they going to throw the book at Shohei Ohtani? Cleveland, you tell me. You answer these questions I have for
you. The book, Cameron. It's lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. I mean, where to begin?
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about the lies? The interpreter said it's him. He has the betting problem. Shohei was warming up for the Dodgers out there in Seoul, Korea, preparing to hit his grand slam to get all the world excited about the new baseball season. And so now somebody comes to him with this $4 million thing. Shohei had nothing to do with that.
Cam, it's lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. First and foremost, since when does your interpreter get access to your bank account?
Well, there's some bills that have to be paid. He has to pay for the car payment. He has to pay for the condo.
$4.5 million. Is it just an open account between you and your interpreter like that?
I mean, maybe he gave it the interpreter power of attorney. I don't know. I'm not in Southern California, Cleveland.
Why would you give
Sadly to say, I am not in Southern California.
Okay.
I can't drive to the condo and see what the real deal is. I can't go to the bank myself. It hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart, man, that I'm not in Southern California and I can't make that drive to Dodger Stadium. I can't even go to Angel Stadium and ask some questions, fans. You guys don't know how painful it is for me to make that admission right now. But Cleveland, you say lies. I say maybe he gave the interpreter power of attorney. There's things that your interpreter needs that maybe you just handle that. You just make the cable bill. You just pay for it. Make sure
so now he's the interpreter / accountant / financial advisor / wealth management.
Again, there's some things that you just need to handle for me. So you have my account information. He has my account information. He has my account information, and he can go to my account and make some payments for me.
No, you're being naive. This is the Japanese version of Pete Rose. Is what's.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Now this is Japanese Pete Rose. He called him.
Yeah.
Now you're calling the greatest player to ever. He has not even been in the States that long, Cleveland. You think he's been in the States long enough to make a gambling bet on the NFL, a gambling bet on the NBA? You think he knows what's going on in the NCAA tournament, Cleveland?
Apparently so, Cameron. And now, unfortunately, they're starting to look. And once they start digging, they get the big shovels out, and they're going to find a whole bunch of stuff, Cam. It's going to be a black eye on baseball once again. The untouchable, great Shohei Ohtani, he's going to have egg all over his face. He's going to have to explain why some illegal offshore. Why don't you just bet MGM or FanDuel or something, right?
He can't read.
Why
He
you being
can't
all-
read
why
all.
you
He
being
can't
all-
read all the. He can't read all that fine print. All that fine print that's in the small print in English. He can't read that. That's why that's what I have my interpreter for.
Well, this might be a good motivation to learn how to speak English then.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So
my interpreter, I gave my interpreter the power of attorney. He has legal access to my account, and he paid all of his bets off.
Cameron, you don't give your interpreter the power of attorney over all of your finances. That's just not a thing.
Not everything, just some of the stuff I have going on here in
Southern California. Just some things.
Just what I have going on in Southern California.
Now, you don't give your interpreter the ability to go and get $4.5 million without your knowing. That's just not a thing.
That's a little too much. 4.5.
That's a little too much. Yeah,
that's a little too much.
Yeah, they're not married. They don't have joint accounts.
Okay, so now you want to put it all on my guy Shohei Ohtani.
It's all on your guy. Yes,
the greatest baseball player ever to lace him up.
I just hope he wasn't making bets from the clubhouse like Pete was. That's all I'm hoping.
See, I don't know if I can talk to you about this now. Because it sounds like you're a little biased. It sounds like you're a little salty that my guy is the 2-time American League MVP.
Salty.
He's on his way to winning the National League MVP. It sounds like you're a little salty. It sounds like you want him out the game.
I'm disappointed in the young man that with all of that responsibility, being the face of Major League Baseball, this is how he chooses to use it very irresponsibly. Very callously.
What happened to innocent until proven guilty? You're throwing the book at the man. When again, he needs people in his circle. He confides in people to handle some business for him because he's training all the time, Cleveland. I'm not sure if you know. A lot goes into baseball. A lot goes into being the best baseball player ever to play the game. He has to work on a swing. He's had surgery. He was in surgery, recovering for surgery for the last 3 months. So he has to work on a swing so he can perfect his swing, so he can earn some of the $750 million that he was given this year. I'm not sure. Are you familiar that he was given $750 million by the Dodgers to win an MVP this season and get the Dodgers to the Super Bowl, to the World Series? Are you familiar with that, Cleveland? So
I absolutely.
So he has to get healed from the Tommy John surgery that he had, right? He has to be able to prepare. He has to do a lot of training. There's a lot of training that goes on into being prepared for the Major League Baseball season. It's a long season, Cleveland. So he's not really in tune with everything that's going on financially. He knows he's taken care of. He knows he's taken care of. He knows his family is taken care of. So he's had his interpreter handle some of the bills that's floating around Southern California. Now you're ready to throw the book at the man saying that he's a Japanese version of Pete Rose.
Correct.
I mean, I think that's a low blow. I think that nothing's been proven. Nothing's been proven. You say he hasn't been doing it from the dugout, from the clubhouse. Well, Cleveland, the season just started. You see how you're doing? The season just started. They played 2 games.
Cameron, they didn't say how long this went back, but they're going to find out. That's what they're doing right now.
Okay, so let me ask you, Mr. Throw the Book at Shohei Ohtani. I think it's a little. I think this is a little jealousy, envy might be the better word. But since you want to throw the book at the guy, does Major League Baseball and their stringent rules, do they adjust this for Mr. Shohei Ohtani?
No, he has to be suspended and banned for life, just like everyone else that gambles on
suspended.
baseball.
Are you ridiculous? Suspended and banned for life? The greatest player to ever put on to wear a baseball uniform has to be suspended in his 4th season?
Did it to himself, Cameron.
You're being ridiculous.
Did it to himself.
You're being ridiculous.
We don't know if he bet on Angels games. We don't know if it was just football, if it was football and basketball. We don't know what he was betting on, but they're going to find out.
See, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can talk to you about this. Clearly, you have.
Why can't you talk to me about it? I mean, look at the paper trail here.
You have this biased opinion.
The interpreter went into my account, stole $4.5 million, gave it to an illegal bookie, and that's the only way we found out is because we were doing an investigation on them. And oh my goodness, here comes this check from the Dodgers. I mean, come on now. That makes no sense.
It came from Shohei Ohtani.
I know. Indirectly through the Dodgers, but yeah.
Came from Shohei Ohtani.
Now it looks bad on the Dodgers. It looks bad on Major League Baseball. It looks bad on sports as a whole. Yeah, he's got to pay the fine. He's got to pay the penalty.
You see, you're just trying to tarnish the young man's career. That's all you're trying to do.
I'm not trying.
You don't want him. You don't want him to go down in history as the greatest player to ever start. I know you see.
Cam, he did it to himself. I didn't make him go bet on the 49ers. And I didn't make him go make all those wagers. I didn't do that. He did that to himself.
He can't even speak English. Do you think he knows what the Super Bowl is? Do you think he knows what that's about?
Apparently so.
That's the interpreter, man. You putting it on Shohei Ohtani. That is the interpreter.
So you're trying to make this like a Greg Anderson type of thing. Like,
you heard him say it.
I don't know what he was. Come on now.
You heard him say it, and then when they asked Shohei about it, Shohei was like, "Nah, dog, I didn't approve the money. I didn't approve that." And now the interpreter had to go and say, "Well, maybe it wasn't all on the up and up. I didn't go to Shohei for the money. I just kind of took it out." There's a case in Jacksonville where the owner, one of the employees, embezzled $22 million over a period of time before no one even noticed. The owner didn't even notice it was gone. Shohei's in that world, so maybe that again. I say.
So Shohei is the equivalent of an NFL franchise? No, he's not.
So listen. Again, in my bank account, Cleveland, if $4.50 is gone, I'm gonna notice that. Okay. In Shohei Ohtani's bank account, that $4.5 million, it may take a little while before he notices that's gone. They just had the tax season. We just had taxes done. Taxes are coming up in April, so we got another couple weeks before taxes is done. So maybe that's how Shohei found out.
Yeah, no. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's not, warranted. He's a gambler. Gambler knows a gambler. He's a gambler.
Gambler knows a gambler. My goodness, Shohei can't even speak the English. It can't even speak the language, and you want to throw him under the bus. You just called him the today's equivalent of Pete Rose. Well, again, in that scenario, Pete Rose got suspended in the 80s, if I think, in 81, something
late
like
80s, that. Late 80s. I believe it was 87. They finally caught him.
87, they finally put the smack down. Cleveland. Right. So we're talking about 35 years ago. Right. Major League Baseball has to come with the times, don't they? Don't they have to get with the times?
No, they don't have to get with the times as far as allowing people to make sports wagers. No, it's certainly not athletes that can, dictate and control the integrity of the game. Absolutely not. They don't have to make these, suggestions just for him.
So the greatest player to ever wear stirrups in the Major League Baseball, you're saying they have to throw the book at him and he has to be banned for life.
Throw the book like a Shohei Ohtani fastball.
Oh, see how you doing? You see how you doing, fans? And he wants to say he's not biased, and he wants to say he's not biased. He wants to. So you're sending him back to Japan then? That's what you're doing. Send him back to Japan League.
Shamed and disgraced.
Oh my goodness, that's cold. That's a cold. That's a cold. So speaking about gambling, I mean, there was once a time when professional sports leagues, they kind of stayed away from Las Vegas. NBA would still go there during the summer league. Nobody wanted to have a team there. The Golden Knights go there. They win the Stanley Cup. The WNBA goes there. Now they have a dynasty almost. The NBA, Major League Baseball is on their way there. It appears Oakland, is kind of flirting with Las Vegas at the very least. The NFL's there now. I mean, there was a time when everybody wanted to stay away from Las Vegas because of gambling, because of the temptation, because of what it might do. So now that we see the leagues again have relaxed their mindset, relaxed their model. Do you think this can? Do you think, number one, the first question is, do you expect baseball to have some leniency towards Shohei if going by your terms, it's all on Shohei, and then because teams are now going to Las Vegas as a hot market, do you expect teams, professional sports teams, to kind of modify their stance on betting?
There's no team that's going to modify their stance on betting because it affects the integrity of the game. And there's no one player that's bigger than the entire league. That includes your boy Shohei Ohtani. He has to pay for his sins for what he's done. They're not going to change the rules and relax them just for him. They're not going to say, okay, Shohei, you can gamble, but no one else can gamble.
No, well, no.
Shohei, you can bet on baseball, in which you have almost, intimate knowledge about what's going on. And indeed, you can actually affect the outcome of the game in your favor, depending on which way you bet on it. Yeah, no, they're not going to allow that. And these other sports,
they're not allowing him.
They're not going to allow AJ Wilson to bet on WNBA games.
So again, here's where your bias seeps in. Here's where your bias is. You can't hide your bias now. So we already know what you think of Shohei. We already know you want to refute that him being the best player in all of baseball in the history of the game. Again, and we hear you saying, okay, only you, Shohei, can bet a bet. That's not what you're saying. That's not the.
That's what you're saying. You're saying should there be some leniency?
There should be some leniency in the sense
with regards to wagering on sporting events by athletes.
Because now they're into the Major League Baseball.
Because everyone else can do it, and there's franchises that are in Las Vegas. That means it should be okay for the athletes to be able to bet. The athletes or anyone involved with the organization should be able to bet on games. No, that's not a thing.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not going to allow you to put words in my mouth. Shohei won't understand.
That's exactly what you said.
Shohei won't understand what you're trying to do.
Here's the question: in what way should there be leniency for Shohei Ohtani?
The things aren't the same as they were in 1987.
Okay, so you're saying
way back in the 1900s.
You're saying that you should be able to wager on games then? Is
that
what you're saying?
I mean, a minor slap in the wrist. He's a foreigner. He's a foreigner as it stands right now. He's a foreigner. He had his interpreter handle some business for him. His interpreter went out and made a couple wagers. You can't blame that on Shohei Ohtani. You can blame it on the circle, I guess. He should have more control of his circle. That I agree with you. So you can blame it on the circle. Okay, he has to go out and get a new interpreter, but you can't unless you saw his signature on the betting, the bookmakers betting logs. You can't blame Shohei. It's a slap in the wrist. Hey Shohei, we're gonna have to find you that $4.5 million that you sent over here. You're fine. So now that $4.5 million that came out of your account, make that $9 million. Now you have to pay back to the Gamblers Anonymous. You have to pay $4.5 million to the Gamblers Anonymous to help out their costs. So that's what they should do with Shohei Ohtani. And what I'm saying with the leniency is things are different now. Now with the advent, there wasn't fantasy baseball back in Pete Rose days. There weren't all these betting operations back in Pete Rose days. It was under the table. Now betting is legal and live across 38 states in the country. It wasn't that case. It wasn't that way back in Pete Rose days. So now that betting is legal in half the country, 38 countries, there's only a few states, and even 4 states are looking to do legalized betting here within the next couple months. There's going to be check out my article. There's going to be an article about it. I'll probably publish it tonight about legalized betting in America and how things have changed over the years. So you can check that out on voiceofthefans.org. But there's 38 states now with another 4 coming. So what am I saying? 90% of the country you're able to do betting in legally. You weren't able to do that betting with back in Pete Rose days. So things are changed a little bit, and so the Major League Baseball can't be as rigid with their rules as they were in 1987 with 35 years later in 2024. So there has to be some adjustment there. So if you want to again fine him the $4.5 million because he got a little loose with his circle, that's an understandable deal. But you're not going to suspend the man for life, ban the man for life. The greatest baseball. Let me repeat, Cleveland, the greatest baseball player ever to put on a mitt and stirrups. You're not going to suspend him for indefinitely for the rest of his life, or you can't ban him for life. That just doesn't make sense.
Okay, Cam. What you're going to be saying is what could have been once they get to those text messages and the pings off of the cell phone towers and the paper trailing, the forensic accountants come out, and some of these other cats that are with the Yakuza back in Tokyo. Once you understand their involvement in the whole thing, it's going to get quite ugly.
And now you got to rope in with the Japanese mafia.
And to answer your question fully, no, it's never going to be okay for athletes or people involved in organization to make sports wagers. That's never going to be a thing.
Now Cleveland got my man wrapped up in the Japanese mafia fans. You guys hear this? You guys hear this again? A little biased. So when you have a professional basketball player saying, I know we're talking about it in Major League Baseball, NFL, they're different sports in general, but when you have a professional athlete saying his social media feeds is filled with upset fans stating that they lost $1,000 because he didn't play 39 minutes in a game and he didn't get the double. Mm-hmm. When they get this type of response from the fans, don't you think some things have to change, Cleveland?
No, that's other people. That's not the people that actually participate in the sport. And that's not people that have influence and not undue, but extra information that other people don't have. That's not a thing. You can't relax the rules so that athletes can bet on sporting events.
Well, fans, I can't wait to see what happens. I think there's going to be some adjustment in the rules.
Okay, well,
I think in as of today, Sunday, March 24th, I see no way Major League Baseball bans Shohei Ohtani.
Well, Cameron, unfortunately, the investigation is underway, and you know what happens once the investigation gets underway. Oh boy!
Well, we can't wait. Again, I might have to take a trip out on my personal dime. I might have to go take a trip out to Southern California and do some investigating.
Yeah, you want him to stop, huh?
And find out, Shohei, what's the real deal?
You found out enough. You found out enough. You don't need to keep digging. Oh boy!
I mean, the interpreter already said he's throwing himself on the sword.
Okay, well.
I mean, what more do we have to do? We got somebody to.
Well, see, that's cool. That's cool back in the day, Cam. Unfortunately, technology has evolved to a point where you just can't go and dive on the sword anymore. They'll just look further. Yeah, no one is anonymous. No one can just, tell you what they did. No, they'll just go and look for themselves. They'll just, retrace the steps.
So him admitting guilt is not enough. Now the man admitting guilt is not enough for anybody. Is that what you're saying?
No, when you're talking about the face of Major League Baseball and what could potentially be out there, no.
You're just looking now. You just want to keep digging. You're like that scorned wife. You just want to keep digging.
Why don't you want to know the truth?
I heard the truth. The interpreter said
you're hearing it from
the interpreter threw himself up on the sword. Wow. Now he's gonna have to leave America. He's gonna have to go back. He's gonna have to go back to Japan.
I'm so sorry. His visa was revoked for gambling. I didn't know that was a revocable thing.
I'm sorry.
His visa was revoked. He has to go back to Japan because he gambled on some games.
Well, because he covered up for He's certainly going to be kicked. He got fired. He's already been fired, so he doesn't have a job now. More than likely, he was over here on a work visa. I doubt he had dual citizenship.
Cam, unfortunately, it's too late. The investigation has started.
Fans, we're gonna have to keep a close one on this. As you see, we're on opposite sides of this topic right here. Cleveland's ready to burn Shohei's jersey at the stakes and just kick him out of the country already after 3 days and after somebody has already stepped up and admitted guilt. Cleveland still want to throw the man out of the country. We're going to see how that happens. Even when we have players saying that the games have changed, things have changed. Fans are now focused more on their fantasy numbers and what the players can do for them. Cleveland is ignoring all that. That's very interesting, I find. Cleveland, let's talk about this NCAA. We'll get to the tournament in a minute, but there's been some interesting conversations about recruiting changes in the NCAA. Specifically, what Dion had to say. I'm not sure if you heard what Dion said, but he didn't even leave Colorado to do his recruiting. So that says something about him and his recruiting. But Coach Cal, who I had an opportunity to talk to, seems like a really nice guy. I mean, he comes to the NBA drafts every year. I think for like the last 10 years, as clean as the players have been, because it's an exciting day for him. Every year, he's pushing on his new guys into the NBA. But they just lost. Coach Cal just lost to Oakland. Where is Oakland, Cleveland? Where's Oakland? The Oakland College, Oakland Golden.
It's in Michigan.
Yeah, again to Golden Goki, who shot him down. Golden Goki. He just lost to Golden Jack Goki because he keeps recruiting these one and done guys. These one and done guys, they're not around long enough. Not only are they around long enough for most of America to kind of gain name recognition and appreciate the talent of the team coming together, they're just there long enough to get in the top 10 of the lottery, and then they're off to the NBA. So they're not building a team. And here we see when you don't have a team versus a veteran team like Oakland was, you lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Will Coach Cal adjust his recruiting to welcoming more than one and done guys? Or will he stick with that philosophy, and will he ever win another championship?
He's not going to change his philosophy, Cam. The University of Kentucky is a basketball academy. It was always meant to be that. Before the game, I don't know if you heard his press conference where he was gloating about his incredible record, which is 73% of the people that come to Kentucky go to the NBA. 73% get to their second contract, and the players, since he's been there, have made over $4 billion in contract money. So that was his kind of his.
So nothing about winning in the NCAA tournament. There was
that was his sales pitch. So fast forward to the game, it directly correlates to rule number 27 of my book, Inside the Life of a Sports Gambler and the 44 Essential Rules for Success. Take experience over youth and inexperience. Because although Kentucky is a basketball factory, they're not a cohesive team, and they struggle against teams that have been together for longer. So Oakland, juniors and seniors accounted for 100% of their points in that upset. It's because those guys come to Kentucky, they play 35, 40 games together, and then you expect them to go through a tournament as if they've been playing together, for a long period of time. It takes a while to get used to one another. I'm not saying that it has to happen, it takes years or anything, but it certainly takes more than, a season. And for all of the talent that Kentucky has flooded the league with, they've only won one national championship.
So, will Kentucky and their fans continue to stand for the one championship and this philosophy? Because this philosophy, sure, it gets these guys paid. Sure, they get to the NBA. Sure, they get their second contract over $400 billion?
$4 billion.
Okay, over $4 billion. What is that doing for Kentucky, the university?
Gets them a lot of exposure, gets them a lot of TV time, and gets them a lot of those other things. if the goal is to win a national championship, from a talent perspective, they always have more talent than everyone else. The question is, can they, pull it together in a one and done type of situation? Sorry, a single elimination type of situation. And the answer is so far no. It's not conducive. Those two things are not the same thing. Just because you have the most talent doesn't mean that you're going to win a single elimination tournament every time.
And you don't see an adjustment coming from Cal in the near future.
What would the adjustment be? That you recruit players that aren't as good and are going to make a longer commitment to you and stay longer? He's never been about that. He's been about creating wealth for the players that come. He teaches them how to play basketball at a really high
Hold
level,
on.
and he sends them on their way.
Isn't that diametrically opposed to what the University of Kentucky should be about, or it should be about? Shouldn't it be about developing their players, developing these young men, or just making those players rich who come through the Kentucky Wildcats?
That's for other universities. That's not for the University of Kentucky.
So he
makes it perfectly clear when people come there, and he makes it perfectly clear to the university, and they bought into it.
Okay, all right, interesting. We'll see how long this continues to last. So my next question is, Deion Sanders says, coach of Colorado Buffalo said, he gets I think it's $2.5 million to travel stipend. Deion says, I'm gonna stay in Colorado. I'm not going to Florida. I'm not going to Fort Miles, Florida. I'm not going to Athens, Georgia. I'm not going to Birmingham, Alabama, do any recruiting. They know where I'm at. In fact, fans, the parents, they don't want me in their house. They want to come see how I'm living. They want to come up to Colorado and see what we're doing up here. I'm looking to save the school money and not do any traveling. Just pick up the phone, and then so you know what that means. He's doing the transfer portal. Do you see that as a better philosophy to build his team out than actually going to school and schools and recruiting as Coach Cal does to bring them top recruits into Kentucky? Do you see Deion's philosophy as a better philosophy for recruiting and making your team better?
No, that's just lazy. He should be looking these young men in the eye and saying, "Son, come to Colorado because this is what we're going to do for you." I mean, the fact that he's trying to do it over a Zoom meeting because it's more convenient for him, he doesn't have to leave poolside. Yeah, no.
That's what he said. I mean, those are
and that's what he's doing. But your question was, is this a better way of recruiting? And my answer is no. I think it's lazy.
Do you think, whether you and I disagree with his philosophy, do you think this is going to pay off for Deion, and by making these phone calls, picking up on these guys from the transfer portal to improve his team? Do you think this is going to pay off in the near future for the Colorado Buffaloes?
They'll be better. Are they going to become a perennial national powerhouse? I don't think so.
And then lastly, Cleavon, how do you think the elimination of the G League Ignite will impact recruiting? Does that impact Coach Cal a little bit more so? Obviously, it's a former basketball league, but with the advent of the NIL, and now players can make this extra money through NIL deals, it kind of eliminates the need for the G League, who was giving them, some money, not NIL money, but giving them some money, giving them a place to develop their game. How do you think this impacts college recruiting?
It certainly helps college recruiting. It's interesting to see how the G League didn't work, and some of its faults. I think that they were expecting having control over the players and kind of showing them how to be a pro from an earlier age, and kind of the way the NBA works would be an advantage. But so far, it hasn't translated talent-wise. We haven't seen, some of the players that come out of the league become superstars. I don't want to say overnight, but maybe even 2 to 3 years. I mean, we're just now kind of seeing Jonathan Kuminga kind of come into his own. I can't really think of another G League player that's really just kind of taken the world by storm, so to speak. So yeah,
Scoot Henderson was all the rage during the summer.
Yeah, and we haven't heard a peep about that dude. So and the Twins and all that, and nothing. So Those players now but are probably most likely going to go back to the traditional model, which is go to college for a year, show out, and then come out. So it will definitely help college recruiting.
I think that's a better. I mean, college basketball clearly benefits from that, from the G League Ignite kind of dissolving. But I think some of these players, man, is constitutional. Yeah, good point, SB. Good point. College basketball. I know this is unconstitutional, but in the NBA specifically, I think the players should have to come out when they're 2 years, at least 2 years, when they're junior class. When they're yeah, he's been busy off the court too. That's right. He got 3 of them coming, and he's gonna be boom, boom, boom.
Is he pulling a Cromartie over there down there in Houston?
Absolutely, he's going. I mean, he's in Houston. What do you blame him?
He's in Houston. What you gonna do?
You can't blame him. But I think the players should have to do 2 years in college, or 1 year in college, a development year. I don't think they should be able to come out. We just see so many flameouts, or guys. Drew Timmy's a bad excuse because he did do 2 years in college.
He did 4 years.
Yeah, so that's a bad example. But I think these guys coming out as freshmen, or coming out as a high school into the NBA, I don't think they're often ready. I mean, we've seen obviously
they don't come out of high school and go right to the NBA. They come out of high school and they either go to one of these developmental leagues or they go
that's
to
what I'm saying.
college.
We haven't seen anybody from the development league come in the league and burn it up. We have the players that do 1 year in college. Those guys, are they ready? We haven't seen those guys burn it up. Obviously, we had Kobe, we had KG, we had Moses way back in the day. But we're talking about 5 players total out of 2,500. Like, it's you can point out these outliers, LeBron, but many of them aren't ready. And I think it does the game of basketball a disservice, because the game becomes younger. It just becomes more athletic. They don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to do the pick and roll. They don't know how to, like, even Goki last night, even though I think Goki was coming off that 10 for 20 from 3, I think he was like 4 for 12 from 3, but he's able to still create the shots, like running around, doing the Steph Curry, running around, running off screen, figuring out how to get open, how to get his shot off. You don't learn that. You can't learn. It's tough to learn that in the NBA. Let me say, you don't learn that in the NBA. It's tough to learn that in the NBA. And still, we haven't seen a lot of players do that. So I personally think some of these players should come, have to do 2 years in college. What do you think, SB? Put the onus on the NBA.
That's exactly why they invoked the you got to go to college for a year rule again, because they were getting burned way too often on drafting high school players on potential and athletic ability, which they displayed in high school against other high school players. And then these billionaires were just kept getting burned over and over again. It's like, no, you got to at least addition a year for me. You got to give me at least 1 year against other college players for me to make my assessment. Trying to make an assessment on what a player is going to do coming out of high school is an extremely difficult thing, even if you're the best scout in the world.
Even 35 games that get 35 games with Coach Cal. You see, they can't put a team together. They
can't put a team together, but look at the NBA though. It's Kentucky all over it.
Yes. I'm not saying there's not talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's not talent coming out of Kentucky, but they can't win because they're, as you mentioned, what's rule number 27?
Take experience over youth and inexperience.
Exactly. So you make them more experienced and make them more wiser. They get another year to develop. They get another year playing team basketball. They learn how to play team basketball. They learn how to get an open shot. They learn how to, run the offense. They learn how to play their role on the team, and that makes them better for the NBA. I know it's unconstitutional, but I would not mind seeing that. I think they come into the league better basketball players.
You get better basketball players, but you're asking for patience that's just not going to be invoked. Not when there's millions of dollars awaiting them on the other side.
Earn it now, again. When we put the
You don't
onus
have to
on,
earn it anymore. You just have to show flashes of brilliance, and we'll pull you in and try and develop that as best we can.
yeah, I think that's weird. I think that's kind of I not weird. I just think the NBA would be better off if they made that rule. If they made went to 2 years out of college. I think the NBA would be better off. Cleveland, what's been the surprises of the NCAA tournament? Obviously, we talked about Kentucky getting knocked out by Oakland, and I'm sure half the country couldn't name where Oakland is. But what's been your other surprises? Have you been surprised by any other teams in their success?
I was surprised with how well Alabama played their first game. I wasn't expecting them to come out and ball out like that. I was surprised with the way Arizona has been handling their business. I thought that they were going to struggle a little bit more. I was surprised by how easily Purdue was able to take care of their first round opponent. I thought that they were going to struggle a little bit. But no real serious like upsets or surprises that I wasn't anticipating.
Duquesne beating BYU. Was it?
That would be the one. I watched that game with a little bit more anticipation. I actually went to high school with Mark Pope, so a little bit of sentiment for him. But yeah, that was kind of a surprising game. I thought BYU would shoot better, but Duquesne just locked them down.
I had Duquesne in that one. I had Duquesne actually winning 2 games in the tournament. Yet they got knocked out by Illinois. They couldn't duplicate that performance against the Fighting Illini. Purdue, yeah, we'll see what Purdue they play tonight. They play Utah State today. We'll see if they can continue their run. I actually have them meeting up Gonzaga. How about Gonzaga putting it on Kansas last night? Is that what you expected?
I actually expected Kansas to lose to Samford, and there was some shady officiating going on down the stretch in that game. We won't talk about it, but then it came around to the second round, and Kansas showed us who they truly were this year. A team that's kind of playing a reputation more than actual ability this year. So not surprised that they got knocked out.
You want to give Washington State some love for beating up on Drake, and then they did turn around and got outshot by Iowa State. You want to give Washington State some love?
They beat Drizzy in that first round. Good for them. It's good to get a tournament victory every once in a while.
I mean, the Pac-12 up to last night where they were 6-2 in their tournament games.
Yeah. And last night was a heartbreaker for Oregon. That double OT, that second OT actually cost me money as well. But
I mean, they had the dude was gunning for Oregon. He stopped playing team basketball. I only caught the second half of that overtime, but I only caught the second overtime. Dude just was gunning in that second overtime and bricking, just throwing up bricks.
Well, second overtime, he was completely out of gas. The same thing happened to Oakland in their overtime game. They just ran out of gas, just ran out of steam.
What about your girls? Are you following the girls? How your girls doing?
My girls are doing okay. I wasn't real, exotic with my picks on that side. Mostly favorites. Louisville losing kind of upset that one region of my bracket, but other than that, it's kind of been following suit.
Oh, I told you I wanted to see South Carolina versus North Carolina. South Carolina is up 47-13.
Yeah, they don't play well.
It's only the second quarter. It's 50-13, dog. Woo. Okay, yeah. North Carolina. They was waiting for you guys, apparently.
Talking too much smack, and here we are.
Was it any good contest? I mean, that was the one game I was really looking forward to. Duke beat Richmond. Syracuse, we got Syracuse and UConn. Gotta show Syracuse some love. Number 16, another 6 seed over UConn. I'm going with Syracuse. I got Syracuse in that one. What do you have?
UConn.
You're hating.
That's not hating. That's just
Yeah,
that's just what UConn does. I mean, when's the last time they lost for the Sweet 16?
College is not the measuring stick it used to be. Well, yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you. But it just makes it easier for the execs, I guess, is what I'm saying. SB, Shannon Jr. for Illinois. Okay, I keep my eye out. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he balled out the first game. I didn't get a chance to see him in the second game, but certainly in that first game, because I thought they were actually going to lose that game. So,
DJ Burns from NC State, 6'9", 275, the big man down low. He looks like what you shaking your head for?
I'm so because he cost me money, and I'm so tired of hearing about that dude. So tired.
He cost you money. What you expect him to do? What you had him going for 30?
No, they won. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You had him losing.
Yeah, I lose it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, you so sick of hearing it from him. He's a big dude. I can see him being on the defensive line for somebody.
Yeah. Be a personality in college, man, and continue to ruin brackets, continue to ruin betting slips, man.
You don't think he can? You don't think he can run an out route or run over the middle and catch
he could be a tight end. That would be a tough dude to.
I mean, a huge dude to defend. I mean, shit. If your guy from KC Gonzalez could do that for 15 years, I mean, he's not gonna run past nobody. That's for sure.
Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham. There's a large list of tight ends that used to hoop. So yeah.
I mean, come on. Would you draft with this? Could he put on a uniform? Can he wear number 80 for the Seahawks? Well, no, not 80, maybe 80, 87, 89. Not 80, excuse me.
All right. Yeah, we can try it out.
No, he's not Zebo. Zebo had a game with him. Zebo actually had he's
not going for 20 and 10 in the league, but right. Yeah, but he's a handful at this level for sure.
Yeah, he's not Zebo. He's not gonna make it in the NBA. But I'm saying I put a uniform on that kid, man. See if he can catch it. He got hands. Obviously, he's playing basketball, so he has hands. Let's see if he can run that out route.
Contact, the physical nature of the NFL.
He's a big dude. He has to be able to block somebody. I mean, just kind of stick your hands out and you can get a couple blocks in, right? He's a big dude. Give him a try.
It's not the transition is not that easy, Cam. I mean, not everyone can do it, and not everyone has the desire to do that.
The desire is something there, but I give him a tryout. He can get Cleveland. He's 6'9", 275. He can get, if he just comes off the line and get in that linebacker's way, you don't even have to hit him that hard. Just get in the dog's way. I know you got some meanness, you got some toughness to you. You played center. You got some kind of toughness to you. Get in that linebacker's way and just create a hole. You know what I'm saying?
It's a different kind of physicality, Cam.
Again, just get in the guy's way. Could he take the hit after he goes over the middle and the linebacker hits him when he puts his hands on the ball? Might be a different story. But he definitely can block. I mean, dude, if you can't block, I mean you're not going to the NBA. This might be your only shot at fame. You're not.
He could be going overseas. You don't know.
Well, he could go overseas. I mean, I saw him as what was the Escalade? Was the Escalade the A1, the N1 dude? He don't have no hops like Escalade, but he can play A1 and 1 basketball, that's for sure. Fans, again, we just want to give you guys a shot of some Voice of the Fans podcast. We just want to give you guys a shot of content tonight or this afternoon, morning, depending on where you are. Again, we got some things we got to keep our eye on, fans. What's going to happen with Shohei Ohtani? Is the Major League Baseball going to adjust the rules, adjust the rigidness? Because my man Shohei, we got a lot more to see out of him. Cleveland don't even want him to win a Major League Most Valuable Player in the National League. Cleveland want to ban him and send him back to Japan tomorrow.
Rules are rules, Cam.
I mean, come on, man.
You can't gamble. You can't gamble on sports when you're an athlete.
Again, that was his. It was already explained. That was his interpreter.
Okay, that's
Did
cool.
that,
But when they get on the case, we're gonna find out. Those text messages are gonna come out. That moving of money around is gonna come out. Those conversations in Tokyo are gonna come out.
We gonna see what's going down, fans. The question: keep your eyes open. Is seeing this off season. How does Cal adjust his recruiting for the upcoming NCAA season? Are the Kentucky Wildcat fans going to continue for being one and done? He gets one and done players. They get Wildcats. They go one and done every year. They seeing Cal celebrate when the players get drafted, but can they celebrate a win?
They get no benefit from it in Lexington, unfortunately, except for a year of hype and potential, and then it just is the same thing over and over again.
I mean, interpreter. Let's get it right. The interpreter, SB. The interpreter did it.
No. SB is onto something. Next, you're gonna tell me the housekeeper had access to his accounts because she knew how to speak English and he didn't.
You guys are something else. I'm telling you. The man, Cleveland. The man had Tommy John surgery.
Can there be any more motivation to learn how to speak English than the people around you that know how to speak English are stealing from you?
Like yes, absolutely. He may not have an interpreter next season. Okay. Next season,
Yao Ming learned how to speak English.
Again, Shohei might not have an interpreter in the next 3.
Ichiro knew how to speak English. He was just stubborn and just didn't want to. But he actually knew how to speak English.
I mean, he might have to call Ichiro up. Right now, it's March 24th. He might not need an interpreter by the end of the season. He might be speaking.
Because now, you know what we're gonna do, Cam? We're gonna get an interpreter for his interpreter. like what did he say? No, here's what he actually said. Yeah.
You guys is cold. You guys is cold, man.
We have to check. You have to check his interpreter with our own interpreter.
You guys is cold, man. You guys got to give them kid the benefit of the doubt, man. That's the greatest baseball player to ever play.
There's no benefit of the doubt. What do you? I know you're enamored with that dude, but unfortunately, it's going to be a sad story the way this ends.
So right now, today, Cleveland, you saying he might not finish the season?
He might not finish the season.
And he's going to be sent back to Japanese baseball.
He don't have to leave necessarily. What happened? Can't play professional Major League Baseball, given that the fact that he's been gambling on sports.
Cleveland, how you expect this dude coming over from Japan? How you expect him to know what the NCAA is? There's the NCAA only happens in this country. NCAA. There's no colleges in any other country. Europe and France.
Those people, with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim weren't a good influence on them.
Fans, we want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. And I'm sorry, excuse Cleveland's hate for Mr. Shohei Ohtani fans. He will be vindicated sooner than later. We'll bring it to you. We'll bring it to again. It's sad. I'm sad that I'm not in Los Angeles. So I can go do my own research. I can go do my own. I can do my own recognizance to see what happened. Not again. The contract came to him. The Dodgers came to him and said, "Here's a bushel of money, and we want you to put on the blue." The interpreter is the one who went out, and I don't know why you guys don't want to understand this. The interpreter is the one who went out and has the gambling issue, who went out and signed the bookmaker who was under investigation. That's their deal. Leave my man Shohei out of it, okay? Shohei had surgery. He was recovering from surgery. He was getting in shape, training to get in shape for the Major League Baseball season, and then all this stuff goes down. He didn't even know what was going on. And now you guys are thrusting everything upon him. That's wild. That's wild. I don't see how you guys are doing that. I don't see why you guys have had that approach. But we'll figure it out. And we'll keep you guys up to date. Again, thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast, and check with us on Wednesday night. And we'll hope to have more information, more breaking news information on the Shohei Ohtani situation, where he will be playing the rest of the season. And the Major League Baseball has decided to kind of adjust the rules a little bit. We'll talk about that when it happens. Thank you, fans. Thank you for making our voice your choice.